Hi again, and welcome to episode 3. We talked in the previous episodes about calories, about the, my story, and the main things, and now we're gonna get into it a little bit deeper. Let's start today with the diet. We already talked about what calories are. Now we're gonna get into how to actually make yourself a diet. Everyone thinks about a diet like this major, huge, extreme change in your life. It doesn't have to be that way. The main thing is to focus on something that keeps you full, at the same time be a bit healthier for yourself. And the most important part that people left out when you're talking about diet and losing weight is to try to not get into those very palatable foods, because that's where you can ruin everything. So the idea behind this whole thing is not to eat entirely bland foods, but at least in the beginning you need to some way cut out the very tasty, very palatable junk, as people call them, from your diet. Cut them out, at least for a while, and try to change a bit. So let's get into it. Where do you start? Well, you first need to find out your maintenance. As we said before, your body has a consumption of energy, and if you eat exactly the same amount of calories that your body needs to go through the day, you're gonna maintain your weight. If you eat in a surplus, you're gonna get fatter. If you eat in a deficit, you're gonna get thinner. It's that simple. Now, how do you actually find out this? Well, there are some ways, but the easiest way for every single one of us is using a TDEE calculator. That means total daily energy expenditure. So this calculator kind of finds out your entire daily energy consumption in calories, but you gotta take it with a grain of salt a bit, because it's not really that accurate. But it's a good starting point, because there's no way someone can find out your exact calorie consumption by I don't know, whatever mathematical formula. For example, this kind of calculator has a formula that multiplies your age, your height, and your weight, and adds a coefficient of movement like 1.2, 1.4, depending on how much you move during the day. But that's a general term. So for example, if you're sedentary, that's 1.1, let's say. If that's if you do at least one session of gym per day and one session of cardio, that's considered moderate, and moderate it's 1.4, something along that way. So for example, you find out your basic metabolic rate, which is the BMR. The BMR is the minimal consumption of energy your body needs to maintain itself at rest, when you don't do anything, not even this. Okay, no talking, no, when you sleep, let's put it that way. So that metabolic rate, that amount, let's say it's 2000, let's use round numbers because it's easier to calculate. If you are a sedentary person, you multiply 2000 with 1.1, and you're gonna get your TDEE at 2200. If you're moderate, you're gonna multiply it with 1.4. What I usually recommend is take the, not exactly the sedentary, but take the light movement. So that's 1.2. So let's say your basal it's 2000 and you multiply it with 1.2, and you're gonna get, I don't know, 2400 or something like that. That's a starting point for your maintenance calories. That's the base where you start. Now, if you eat, let's say, if you actually eat 2400 calories, you're gonna maintain your weight, but you gotta lose weight. So you're gonna cut from that amount. Usually the best amount to cut is 500. Why 500? Because it's very simple. The body doesn't understand the days of the week or the days of the month or whatever, but it's easier for us to actually keep track of things, and it's pretty easy. 1 kilogram of body fat equals to 7,000 calories. Okay, that means if you eat every day of the week 1,000 calories, the week having 7 days, that's 7,000. So if you're eating a surplus of 1,000 calories each day, so a surplus of 1,000 means those 2,400 plus 1,000. So if you eat 3,400 calories every day for a week, at the end of the week you're gonna have gained 1 kilogram. Now, if you cut the same amount, you're gonna lose. Now everyone's gonna say, well, okay, well then why not drop 1,000 calories? Because it's not sustainable. It's a bit too fast. If you're trying to lose a kilogram a week, it's way too fast. That goes into the crash diet territory that we talked about, and it's not sustainable, as I said. So how do you want to do this? Why 500? 500 is a round number, and it means half a kilogram a week. If 1,000 means 1 kilogram, 500 means half. So that's a controlled way to lose half a kilogram a week. You keep your this calorie deficit for a month, you're gonna lose 2 kilograms. It's as easy as that. In the beginning, if you are very, very fat, as I was, you can lose more because you were used to eat, I don't know, 4,000, 5,000 calories. If you drop, you're gonna lose a lot in the beginning. But we are looking for consistency and not just crash dieting and pushing too fast. So this is the best way to do this thing. So we had our I told you how to do your maintenance. Now you did a cut. What that diet needs to contain? Well, we're gonna get into it right now. How do you actually make a meal plan for yourself? Well, it's pretty easy. When you're losing weight, you need to keep hunger away. How do you do that? Well, you try to eat foods that are bigger in volume but lower in calories. And you can find a lot of information on how many calories each product has. Even the ones you buy in the store, they have it written on the back. So this is pretty easy. For example, 100 grams of peanuts, it's like this amount, equals to maybe 600 calories, okay? At the same amount of calories, you can have 1 chicken breast with some potatoes and a salad. So all of this. Now, logically, which one of these two is gonna keep you satiated? Just think about it. Because this equals more volume. Not to mention the good macros, and we're gonna get into that later on, but as volume, okay? This versus this. Pretty simple, right? So this whole thing is for you to make better choices. That's the whole thing. You need to do more smart and better choices for yourself. So we're gonna get into macros and how to actually construct a small diet like this in the next episode.